Thank you for joining us today. Why don't you start by telling us your name and where you're from?
My name is Yvonne, and I'm currently live here in Tri-Cities, but I'm originally from Moses Lake. I am the oldest of four daughters. My parents are Mexican. My parents weren't really ever affectionate, so I feel like that's something that I missed out on. I missed out on a lot growing up. That's definitely something that I needed. At 15 or 16, I had my daughter. I was in high school and I had my daughter. And I was in a very abusive relationship with the father of my kids. At 18, I graduated high school, was pregnant with my son, graduated with honors. And the relationship just started getting more and more abusive. I knew that if I didn't leave soon, it was just going to get worse, and I knew that that's not what I wanted for my life or for my kids. I was very fortunate enough to grow up with both my parents, so I feel like I worked really hard to try and mend the relationship because I didn't want my kids to grow up without a dad. I know what it's like to have a dad, and he's a great dad, but I just always held on to hope. When my kids were really little, we got in a car accident. The accident was really, really bad. It was a double impact. A truck T-boned us, and then we hit a telephone pole. The airbags were defective in the car. By the grace of God, we were all okay. They had us on the top of the car to get us out. We spent our Thanksgiving in the hospital. My sister was really, really hurt. She's my twin sister. She's my better half.
So in the midst of all of this, did you know the Lord at all?
So we grew up Catholic, and if anybody has been Catholic before, we never read the Bible. I got baptized like in Mexico. I baptized my kids, but only because I felt like it was out of guilt. My parents would always say if I didn't, my kids would go to hell, so I was scared. And then we got in that car accident, so I felt like I needed to. So I didn't really know God the way that I do now.
So what happened? I guess you're going through all of this, you went through the accident, and then what happened in your life that kind of made you realize that you needed God?
So my mom used to say, because these things were happening, that we were cursed, right? So I felt like we were cursed, and I was like always living in fear. Like I said, I was in this abusive relationship and I needed to get out. So finally I had had enough, and I packed up my kids and I moved.